Call them Turo. We're down here at the CBD shop Hemspired on 115A Strawberry Alley. Strawberry Alley. Ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't been down here to be blessed by this wonderful customer service, you are missing out. How you doing today, sir?
Life's great, man.
Life's great. It's good to be down here, man, enjoying you. So glad I got to meet you. It's a few people I've met I don't ever want to see again. You're not on that list. So, man, I appreciate you having me today. What we're going to do, we're going to get right on into it, man.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you. Thank you, because this is our third swing at it.
What's the name of this beautiful establishment?
Oh, man. Well, we are currently sitting in my store, Hemspired. Again, it's located on 115 Strawberry Alley. In between... Oh, boys, okay. Yeah, 115 Strawberry Alley. I do apologize. In between a lot of dope other shops. I'm going to plug them early. So if you are not familiar with the downtown Strawberry Alley area specifically, we have a plant shop, tattoo shop, hemp shop, obviously, sneaker store, coffee shop, and of course the beloved Strawberry Alley restaurant as well. So, yeah.
And that's all right here on Strawberry Alley, correct?
Yeah. This whole side of the block is developing very nicely. So.
I actually, before coming to visit your shop, I had never been down Strawberry Alley. I don't know why, but I just never came down here, right?
No, I mean, to be honest with you, this is the most amount of time I've spent down here, at least consecutively.
Mm.
Even when we were younger, I never really just.
I definitely never came over here when I was younger. You know what I'm saying? So how did this thing come about, man? How did this vision come about for this CBD store?
It was through conversation, as we kind of touched on before. I was a math teacher at Kenwood High School before I became a so-called businessman, and I would find myself having, again, repetitive conversations with my students. I taught seniors on just not getting caught in the rat race, not getting caught in the everyday rigmarole of spinning at the wheel, and doing things how they were told that they should do it. Graduate from high school, go to college, go get a job, go start a family and everything like that. Or graduate from high school, go to the military, and then go get a job. It was never. I would say this. I felt like I was one of the few people that was advocating, what to expect going into the summer. And so I had already, let my admin know at the time that I wasn't coming back. I was going to finish out the school year to see my seniors graduate, but I wasn't coming back. So yeah, my mind was already made up. It just so happened that COVID closed schools down the week after. And so for me, that was God saying, this game on. So I launched my brand and logo and everything on Facebook and Instagram and saying that, hey, I'm here, and I haven't looked back since.
And the name was easy to come up with? What was that naming process? Did you go through a few?
Yeah, there was a list. There was a list about 5 or 6 names.
Yeah.
It came down to Hemspired and actually
don't tell nobody. You might use it later.
No.
He said
it
no.
was Hemspiration.
Okay.
Yeah. It was Hemspiration. Yeah, Hemspiration.
Okay.
But yeah, the final decision was Hemspired. So.
I love it. So to switch gears a little bit, what influences or just one influence have you had over the years to get to where that you feel like it got you where you are today? It helped you along the way, basically.
Influence. Well, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention my grandfather.
That's
Although
awesome.
he passed some time ago. He was the most early influence
Mm.
for sure. He taught me how to, like I said, be gentle. He really was my first male demonstration of emotional intelligence. I never, I can't remember a time where he acted out of character. Even no matter what was going on, how crazy things may have been, like he was always the one that was, still handle things with gentle, like a gentle, graceful.
He was poised.
Yeah, very poised. Yeah. In short, he was poised, very resolved, and so that was very influential to me. And again, he caught me early, early in life, teaching me those lessons. So.
That is awesome. So, if you could think of a mistake that you may have made in the world of business along the way, if you want to call them mistakes, might have been just a mishap, not even big enough to be a mistake.
Mm-hmm.
What were one of those mistakes for you? I use the word mistake loosely, by the way.
It's not a debate, obviously, but I don't look at any experience that I've had since I've opened a mistake. It's really just all a learning experience. I mean, I'm documented in saying that I'm building this thing as I'm flying. So if something doesn't work out or whatever the case may be, it's just a learning, a learning experience, a learning tool and time. Businesses, if you're in business long enough, then you'll learn that you can't look at things as mistakes or have regrets. At least that's in my experience.
No, I agree with you wholeheartedly. That's why I say I use the word mistake loosely. You went in the direction I was going. For those that may feel like quitting, that was their answer to keep going.
Oh yeah, I mean, but it's something that's normal. I've sat in the store for hours, and I've had all type of thoughts. I mean, there's been times that I've been like, man, did I make the right decision? Like, am I really, cut out for this? And I think it wasn't anything, thankfully, that lingered. You know what I'm saying? It was just, maybe a bad day in sales, or whatever the case may be. Because when you're really out here, taking a leap of faith on something that's unknown as far as like running a business, yeah, it can stretch you. It will stretch you, versus a person who may have a full-time job, or another avenue or means of income to kind of be as a cushion.
Were consistency and commitment two of your biggest go-tos when it came to this business and balancing relationships outside of the job?
Consistency and commitment, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, those words hold value, not only in business or in the store, but yeah, in my life, as a whole. Yeah, 100%.
So it was already a part of you, period. So easy to transfer into your business because you were like, I'm doing this. So commitment was nothing for you when it came to the business because that was a part of your character.
Yeah, we can go with that. I mean, I yeah, we can 100% go with that.
Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna shift gears a little bit. People, sometime in the past that I've encountered, have feared time. They're looking at how old they are. They're looking at maybe my time has passed.
Mm-hmm.
Does time affect you, how you progress, or how you move, or do you move to your own beat?
I haven't mastered this yet, but I set my intentions, provided it is God's will. I set my intentions to move at my own pace. I mean, there are things that would, that does require, my attention. there are places that do require me being there. I have to take my daughter to school, things like that, right? But really, I try to move at a pace that's conducive and comfortable to my lifestyle and my in the direction that I want to go. And I would say that I tell you one thing I've learned to. Well, no, let me answer your question first.
Go ahead.
No, I have not, but I'm definitely working on becoming more aware of how valuable time is. Like even to the point of preparing for something. Like that energy that you're expending. The time that you are expending this energy to execute whatever. The execution, that requires a certain amount of time. But just for me, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't even want my thoughts, to be, I guess, misused in terms of time, in terms of the energy exerted during that time and space.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that goes back to the proverbial saying, idle minds are, dangerous. Or idle minds can be dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So for you, time is important, naturally.
Yes.
I think time is important to everybody, as much as they would like to say, no, I'm good. I'm going to be who I'm going to be. I've heard people say, we all got to die one day. It ain't that serious, and that's okay for that person.
Mm-hmm.
But I like to make the most of every place or everything I'm doing. So I can't agree with that statement because I'm like, I want to be everything I can be. If I was supposed to be a help to you, I want to be 100% help to you, not 50. You know what I'm saying? So I try to give everything I do with my time, everything I've got. Because when I leave, I don't want anybody to regret or say we could have went another way. Because he didn't bring all of what he could have brought or that I heard he had.
Right.
And that's a matter of opinion sometimes, but still, I want to know within me, I gave my best at that particular time.
Yeah. I think. To add to that, if there's anything to add to that, I think it just really boils down to just being present.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? Like, which is another pillar of mine that I think, or at least I hope, does show in through my business. This is being present. When someone walks through my door, I guess you would look at this as like customer service.
It is.
I try to give them my undivided, granted, taking into consideration that there's a lot of things that go on here, because people do lounge and whatnot. But when someone does walk through the door, I do try to make it a point to key in on, okay, what are your intentions when you walk through the door? Whether it's just to see it, whether it's just to, you were lost and you thought I was somewhere else or another place, or you had intentions to come here and get something. I try to be present.
And that's just being plain old courteous.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know too many people that let people walk in the house and don't acknowledge them.